Ja, es geht wieder los. Die Liga steht in den Startlöchern und
the league is about to start. At the beginning, the German Supercup, the champions against the cup winners, Bayern Munich against RB Leipzig. Welcome to the media round. Thomas Tuchel, welcome. The first question. We're going to talk about the Supercup later in this press conference, but there is one topic that is interesting everybody around Sebener Straße. Kane was at the airport, then he drove away again. Can you shed some light? Where are the hindrances? That would be a statement transfer, obviously. You probably know more than I do where he actually is at this time and what he's doing, because you're going to have the focus on him. We are working on it. That's what I can confirm, and that is no secret. But as of now, there is no decision. And as long there is no agreement, the coach is not going to talk about it because it's not his player, as tough as this might sound. But that's the way it is. What are the problems at this time? Well, yes, I'm talking with the people, but I had the last practice ahead of that important game, and everyone is doing what he's here for, and I'm not getting into the final hours of a transfer. I'm not going to get involved into that, and Jan is not involved in my final practice, so everybody has its duties. But what I'm interested in, if this would happen in the next time, what would that mean for the build-up of the play against Monaco? You didn't have high balls. We were playing low on the ground to tell. Would Kane change things? Well, that depends on who is on the pitch. For a couple of weeks, we've been working on our build-up play and the way we want to do it. But it's depending on the type of players that we have and the goalkeepers that we have on the pitch. How far can the goalkeeper kick? How secure are his long balls? And what type of outfield players are on the pitch? For tomorrow, our options are clear. And we have the chance to use long balls, but we don't have to chest those balls down. We can also play in space, and that depends on which players are available. And at this time, Kane is not one of our players, so we don't have to choose a tactic according to him. I try to ask a question looking forward to tomorrow. If there hadn't been some hiccups in that Kane transfer, would he be an option? And if it was to go quickly now, would he be an option tomorrow? Well, there is lots of ifs and buts in that question, but I can understand where you're coming from. But all these ifs and buts leave lots of options, but at this time, the most important thing is he our player, which he isn't at this time, so my job as a coach is to concentrate on the players that we have and support the players that we have. Obviously, we have time. It's early in the season, very early in the season. The preparation hasn't ended yet. That's why we have a practice session tomorrow. So we leave all options open, but what we take and not depends on the day-to-day. So let's leave those ifs and buts. Adam Bate. Nur eine Frage auf Englisch. Wie wichtig ist es für Bayern, einen Stürmer zu verpflichten in diesem Sommer? Und welchen Unterschied kann ein Stürmer wie Harry Kane machen in dieser Saison? Ich habe bestätigt, dass wir an diesem Deal arbeiten, unter Hochdruck, mit höchster Priorität, um Harry Kane zu verpflichten. Das ist die Situation, das kann ich bestätigen. Das zeigt, wie wichtig das ist. Wir versuchen, den Kapitän der englischen Nationalmannschaft aus England rauszuholen, aus der Premier League rauszuholen. Das sagt schon alles. Das ist ein großer Deal, an dem wir da arbeiten, eine große Unterschrift, die wir da wollen. Aber das ist noch im Machen. Das ist noch ein Prozess. Es ist noch nichts bestätigt. Und solange es da keine Bestätigung gibt, gibt es nichts, worüber der Trainer da sprechen müsste. So let's assume that Mathys Tel will play up front. Can you tell us something about him? He was doing a good job at Unterhaching, and he was playing a really good preparation. Yes, that's true. I know you're a fan of him, extremely positive. He hasn't scored that many goals, but still, I will remind you of it when another striker doesn't score and he gets under pressure. But I think that Mathys is doing a good job, and it's not a contradiction. Mathys is the one that is available. Thomas was injured during all the preseason, as was Choupo, and he took his chance. He's very keen. He's trying to improve every day in practice, which he has to, as far as the understanding for the game is concerned, and the way he moves in some certain parts of the game. It was part of one goal against Liverpool when we were playing the ball deep. He's doing a good job. He's missing a couple of goals, but that is his forte usually. So he has a good chance to start tomorrow, but there's a whole afternoon today. Tomorrow will be practice, and I'm not going to tell you anyway. But he is the striker that we have available and that did things good, and every player has a chance. Talk us through Conny Leimer, who's going to talk about his former team tomorrow. Will he be a factor from the word go? Well, I'm not going to tell you now because it's too early. I have experienced too often that you change your decisions when you have a practice the other day and you don't play before the evening. Conny started, I think, every game for us in preseason, and he really did a good job. He's full of energy. He has that lust to play, and he has a slight advantage in midfield. So he started, and he paid back the trust that I gave him. So he has a chance to start tomorrow, and it doesn't matter who we play against, because that is the next step that we want to do. It's a final, and so there's going to be a bit of tension. It's about a title, and that is perfect to start a season like that. So we are keen to win the first game, and Conny is definitely playing his part in that plan. Would you tell us who will be missing tomorrow? Definitely Manuel Neuer, obviously. Yeah, Choupo and Thomas were part of the practice, the third practice session for them. 3 days ago, we had a low-intensity training session, but they were part of all those training sessions with the team. But other than that, they missed the whole preseason. They were practicing individually. They were working very hard, both of them. And at this time, they don't have any pain. If that stays that way, they are definitely candidates for the squad. But when everybody stays healthy, then maybe we're going to give them an opportunity to practice with a bit more intensity in practice in order to get closer to the squad for the upcoming league game against Bremen. And the other question, the Supercup is the first test. What can happen in the Bundesliga? How do you see Leipzig, that lots of players leaving? Bayern Munich will have the goal to be the champions. How do you see Leipzig? Well, obviously they are. playing for the championship as well with Dortmund and Leverkusen, who are the most obvious candidates for the championship. But the league has proved in the past that there are other teams that can stay on the top group of the league for a long period of time. So we should only look at ourselves. Our aims are clear. We want to play for the championship. We want to win the cup. We want to get in it as far as possible in the Champions League and be competitive on the highest level. And that's why it's just like you said, it's a good test. And after those test matches that we had, we're going to have a game at home in our arena, and I hope that we will be able to show the quality that we had in practice and the energy that we had. So in order to give the fans the chance to feel the atmosphere and create a good atmosphere, and I hope that we can be able to show that tomorrow. Can you, from your point of view, talk about the goalkeeping situation? Jan Sommer left for Milan, and you have Ulreich, who is a very reliable goalkeeper. Which type of goalkeeper are you looking for? A clear number one or a number one that will be sitting on the bench once Manuel Neuer returns? And how is Manuel Neuer at this time? Well, it's a very complex situation. That's why we are searching for something that nobody else is looking for. Potential to be number one, but still, when Manu returns in full strength and fitness, to sit on the bench in order to accept Manu as number one. But there are so many ifs and buts in that sentence as well, and so much speculation. Nobody knows what is going to happen. And so it's a very complex topic. Jan was using a clause in his contract, and that's why the situation is how it is. What's clear is we don't have enough goalkeepers at this time in order to really be on that level that we want to be. So that's why we're looking for another goalkeeper. We had a couple of candidates, and obviously there is a difference between an agreement and a signed contract, but we are staying on that situation until Manuel will be able to practice with the squad, because Sven will not be enough, even though we are very happy to have him. And he is someone who is very positive and reliable, like you said, but it's still not enough. When are you thinking that Manu will be back? Well, I don't want to give him a schedule on that and apply pressure, because that doesn't help, even though it would create a headline maybe, but it wouldn't help Manu, and I want to do everything to help Manu. So it has to be clear that we need the best possible solution in that complex situation under pressure. We don't want to pressure Manuel, though. We want to give him as much time as possible. He had a small procedure which was successful in order to relieve some pain, and it looks good. He was on the pitch already, and now he took a step to the side, and that was necessary. And my experience is that this procedure can be a huge step forward, and that's also my gut feeling. So we're talking about a couple of weeks before he will be able to practice on the pitch again. And once Manu feels completely free, it can all be very, very quickly. But it's all speculation at this time, and I can't answer this question at this time. So I can only stress that Manu will get the time that he needs, and until then, we need a situation with Sven plus another goalkeeper on the highest level in order to bridge that gap, which isn't too easy, but we're working on it. Which meaning would the Supercup title have for you for the start? And are there some revenge thoughts? And as far as the squad is concerned, are there other positions other than the goalkeeper, like a striker, defensive midfield? Would you have liked to have that solved before the start of the season, or are you relaxed? Well, I'm both. I would have liked us to be a step further than we are, but there's no need to look back and talk about things, because you have to look forward, because you can have an agreement at everything, but you still need so many parties to be on one side in order to get a transfer across the line. So you need to have patience and trust that everybody is working on it. In an ideal world, after the Asian trip, to have further input for the team would be perfect, would have been perfect, but at the end of the day, I know that all things take their time, and so I am confident and I'm patient, and I know that in different countries and different footballing cultures, the transfer period really gets hotter the closer you get to the deadline, so we have to really stay relaxed. And as far as the Super Cup is concerned, it has a huge meaning, because it can push us further and show us that the way we're playing on those test matches has a meaning. And I really feel that the team is positive and is working really well in practice. So our wish and our aim is to have a good game tomorrow and give the fans the feeling that they feel the team. And in the end of the day, when you play in a final like that, the result changes everything. We want to win it. We know that Leipzig also wants to win it, because they want to have that push for their season as well. But still, I hope that our will to win is just as high, and that we can win it due to our quality, because it's important to have that affirmation for our way. Tomorrow, the first competitive match of the season. That's when the preseason ends. It was your first summer preparation for Bayern. Apart from that open positions, the striker, the goalkeeper, how happy are you with your preseason so far, and how far could you actually implement your ideas? And where does the team stand? Well, I was just talking to the team, and I said I'm very happy with them. For a couple of weeks, we really have a good spirit and a high quality in our training sessions, and the atmosphere is that the quality is raised every day, and that influences the energy positively. We've really grown together, and we have made our first steps. I'm happy with the work ethic that we have and the things that we were working on. You can see the will of the team and the greed, and in order to make things right. And individually, if I think about Fonzie, for example, we have a Fonzie on the pitch that appears completely different on the pitch as far as his body language is concerned, the dynamic, the lust to play, and the whole team did it really good. But this is only one step, and it's not going to end tomorrow. It's just another step tomorrow on our path, and then it would be another week before we start into the Bundesliga season, and that is never going to stop. This is a process that we started, and we as the coaches are going to monitor that closely. So tomorrow there will be the first decisions that will maybe make players sad. If a player gets not introduced on the pitch, gets introduced too late, maybe on the pitch from the bench. But we have to work on that. We have to swallow our pride a bit and really stay positive. And like you said, we had pretty much the same starting 11 for every game, but still everybody's fighting for its place. And that's why I'm happy and confident with the team, but we have to prove it tomorrow because I can talk a lot here. But we have to continue and improve. The last game against Leipzig, I think it was on May 20th, the 1-3 at home. That's when it started to become that heartbeat finish that it turned out to be. Well, we're not thinking about that too much because a couple of players left Leipzig since then, but it's still in our minds a bit. It was our final home game, and now the first home game is against the same opponent. We have to make up a little bit. We're not going to get our points back. It hurt us then because we thought, well, maybe we lost the championship with that game and we didn't have matters in our own hands anymore. But now the team is in a completely different state as far as the way we behave and the way we act, and that was a very important piece of the puzzle in the past weeks, that we have to show more energy, more lust, more team spirit, and we want to show it to everyone, and that is the key. And other than that, we need our quality on the pitch. And that's why it's good. We had really tough games during the preseason against big names, against strong teams. And now we play against Leipzig, so we have to play better than we did, and we want to win. The final question. Last year, we could see how important Jamal Musiala is for the game of Bayern Munich, who was in the second part of the season. He was on a decline, but then he scored the goal that decided the championship. Did that goal trigger something special? Well, I really like Jamal because he's highly talented and he can get things into our game that are really extraordinary. And in certain phases of the game, he can make a difference with his turns, with his long steps, with his ability to accelerate. That is really top, and that's why we're extremely happy that he's here, and I'm really happy with him. He's a nice guy, he's very humble, and he's very calm and polite, and that is a really good combination. And Jamal is here to learn lots of things. And once we have more rhythm, once we have more discipline on our positions, then we will be able to find him in those spaces. And when he gets that understanding when to speed up things, when to turn it back a little bit, play more economically, then there is pretty much no limit. It will go on. He's very young. He scored a very important goal. He really deserved that goal. He really likes to practice. And he's very polite, like I said, and extremely talented, and that's why he's a key player. And we'll go from there. The journey never stops, and his only started, and he's in a good way. So thank you very much, Thomas. Thank you. Till tomorrow. Bye-bye.